Hello there, Carrie Rhodes here. I am excited to be sharing with you a sneak peek or three from our upcoming release that hits the shelves on April 11th. I'm sharing this stencil. I can't be more excited about the Paw Print Heart Stencil. You may already have the Shamrock or Clover Heart Stencil that was from a previous release. So this is like that, but it is filled with paw prints. It is so super cute. We're going to stencil this out onto this craft colored cardstock here. And I'm going to be using some texture paste today. So I'm using my magnetic mat to hold it down and some tape to hold my paper down. The paste I'm using is translucent grit paste. I'm going to put it onto my mat first, and I actually added some drops of some re-inker for a brown ink pad. Now, I don't know why it kind of looks like a dark army green on camera, but it doesn't look like that in real life. I even tried adjusting the color to my video, but it just looked weird. So trust me when I say that it's dark brown. And of course, when this dries, it's going to dry back a little bit lighter. But I encourage you to try tinting your paste with your different kind of ink refills or liquid watercolors or something like that. It doesn't take too much. And now I have textured paw prints, kind of like the texture of an actual paw, and they're brown on this craft paper. So I had more paste left over, so I wanted to try something else. So we're going to stencil this again to use up that paste, and then I'm going to do a second step with it. So I'll go ahead and stencil that just like before. Remove my stencil. You want to get that in water really quick, and I'm bringing in some brown flocking. Now I'm going to just sprinkle this over the top and very tenderly, very gently just move this across that paste. I don't want to smush out any stenciling that I've done. So I was trying to be really super careful with this and just make sure that it contacted each little paw. And now I'm shaking the excess off into a coffee filter so that I can pour it back in because I put it on there very generously. And look at my fuzzy little paws. They are so cute. I love it. I'm so excited about this stencil. I still had some paste left over, so I decided to just pour it, smear it, spread it onto a scrap of that same craft cardstock and let it dry. I didn't want to waste it, so now I have this like brown textured cardstock piece, and as I was doing this, I knew exactly what I would use it for, and you'll see that at the end of this video. It's kind of a long video today. I have some super cute projects to share with you though, and it's because of this die, the Paper Hugs Heart die set. This die is going to cut out my heart I just stenciled, but there's 3 heart pieces to this. One that pierces the paper only, and it's larger than the heart stencil. One that cuts out the heart that we stenciled with the paws, and then this one will fit on the outer edge of the heart, but the scallops are on the inside, so it can layer over the heart. And then we have our sentiment, sending paper hugs, each scripty word and a shadow. But here you can see the heart fits around those stenciled images and even the clovers. And then I'm going to die cut my pieces out now that they are dry, set them aside. I believe I actually came back to it even the next day. So they're dry, and I was able to die cut that out so easily. I love this heart. You can use it with these stencils or as a standalone die set, which is so cool. You can also save the fallout piece and create a card with that. And there's my 2 pieces. All right, so I wanted to show you what the other dies look like. So you can see, you can do the pierced heart around the dainty scalloped heart. You can layer this over the die cut heart, lots of different choices. And I'm going to show you it used a different way on the next card. So there's the fallout piece when you die cut the dainty heart, which you could inlay back into your paper with a different color even. And so there we have it. You can do paper piecing around your die cut heart. So do the paper piecing on your cardstock like I'm going to do, and then put your die cut heart on top of that, which is exactly what I'm going to do. So you can see that right here. So fun. It really just draws your eye into the center and adds like another layer without there being another layer. Now I'll die cut out each of these words so you can see what they look like. And there is a shadow layer for each, which of course we all love that. So I'm going to do my shadow layer from black, and then we're going to take all these things that I'm showing you and put them together and create some cards. So the one thing you want to be careful of is the tiny little dot for the eye. Don't lose that guy because it's beansy and super cute. So there we have it, sending paper hugs, which you can use on so many things. So let's jump in to make this card right here. So the bears I'm using are the Best Tea Party, and I'm going to stamp the little bear, the stump, two little bees, and then you'll always be my bestie, that sentiment. And now we're going to Copic color these. So I wanted my bear to be a black bear, so I'm starting with N9 as my darkest color. I'm laying in my shadow first, and I'm being pretty conservative because I'm coloring something black. So what I like to do is, like I said, be conservative with my first layer. Then I brought in my mid-tone, which is T7, and then my lightest color, which is T5. So I'm keeping this pretty light on my first go around. I actually end up coloring this 2 times. Then once I have the first layer down, I can kind of get a feel for where I want to add more shadow. And also using that T5 marker, anywhere I go over the T5 again, it's just going to get a little bit darker. So there he is. He's so darn cute. And then I have my E57 marker. I'm going over like his muzzle and his belly, and then I'll do a little bit of brown inside the ears. So I like the mix of the brown and the black together. He's just really cute. So I figured the paw prints could be good for dogs, for cats, and for bears. So I'm going to do a card for you today that is with the bear, and a card for you today that is with a dog. And I just pulled out some of my already owned products from Trinity Stamps featuring bears and dogs, and you could do the same exact thing with this heart stencil with the paw prints and just play with stamps and things that you already own. I love that. All right, so now I'm coloring out the stump using those same brown colors, E57, E25, and I believe E23 is my lightest color. The stump is kind of, you know, big for coloring, and so it just takes a little bit of time to get it all filled in. And again, you can go over it 2 times and really work out the shadowing how you like it. And I did that on mine. So now I have Y17, I believe, for my little bees, and bees have black faces, by the way. So my bees have little, well, dark gray faces. And then I'm coloring out the teacup. I think that's really cute. So my colors today are going to be black and brown and yellow and red, I decided. So that's going to come into play when I finish up my card. And there I'm just adding the finishing touches, and you can see all the markers I used to color these out right here. And there are coordinating dies to die cut that out. So I'll do that, but I always like to add a white highlight on my little pieces. It just brings them to life. So that's what I'm doing, especially on that black bear. I love the white gel pen. Also, I added some lines with my white gel pen on my stump that really make it look a little bit more like wood grain, which I love. Plus, don't you love a white gel pen for kind of covering up any mistakes where maybe you went outside the lines and coloring? That's what I do. So there's my images, and now we're die cutting them out. And I have another card with this set where I put the little bear on top of a birthday cake. So it's such a cute set. There's all my die cut pieces, and now we're going to set that aside and get some more things ready for this card. This is the heart from the it's the racetrack heart. Yeah, I'll link it for you below. I'm not good with remembering all the names of products. I think I'm going to, and then when it comes time to say it, it's gone. So I'm laying my bear in place so I can figure out where I want to add my sentiment here. Then I can space it out just how I want. And I'm adding my second heart. This is where my stamped sentiment is going to go. And then I know where to put the word hugs, just like that. But I liked this heart, the red heart, because it had the stitching. around the outside, just like there's little dash line around my large heart on the black paper. And then we can just glue everything into place. And I think this card is so cute. I had so much fun making it. I love the black with the brown and the red. It's just so different and fun. All right, so I'm adding this to an A7 size card. I think I forgot to tell you that, but this heart fits best on an A7 size card, so the 5x7 size. And now I'm adding some black licorice jelly hearts for my embellishment. I just like that black on black. Like it adds something really special, but it's not too busy because we're doing tone on tone. So I'll add those on each side of the card to complete this fun paper hugs card. So what do you think of the Paw Print Heart Stencil? I hope that you're in love with it, especially considering that we have the Sending Paper Hugs die to go with. Oh my goodness, it makes me so happy. But you remember, I made a second heart, so we're going to make this card with that. And I'm pulling out another set that I have in my stash. It has this row of puppies. It fits on a slimline card, but I just want one. I want the one that looks like my dog, which is right in the center, and he's in front, so I can easily cut him out. Now, of all the dogs in this row, there are 4 that sit in front that you can easily fussy cut out. Unless you want to stamp them all and cut them out, there is a die to cut out the whole row of dogs. So I am using E53 and E55 to color out this dog, so it looks like my little dog who's a cockapoo. But here's the thing, my dog does not have a tail. He came without one. I mean, he wasn't born without one, but when we got him, he did not have a tail. So this is what he would look like if he did. Yeah. All right, I'm going to cut this out right on the black line, and it's a little tricky, but I was impressed with myself. I was like, I can do hard things after I cut this image out on the line. So I did, and I was very pleased with myself. So he is going to go on my card, but also there's sometimes a little bit of a rough look, no pun intended, when you cut out an image on the black line. So it's nice to have a little black marker. You can go around the outer edge and just color that white paper. It helps it look like you cut it so good. So there's my tip. I love to do that. And then, of course, I'm going to add some highlights, but then his eyes have a little shine, his nose has a little shine, and it just brings him to life. So there's the little dog. By the way, my dog's name is Toby, and he's so cute. So there he is. Precious. And then I'm going to add some other things because I decided to make this a birthday card at the last minute. So I added the little hat and party blower from the same stamp set, and that is going to go perfectly on the dog. Now, since I already fussy cut out the dog, I wanted these to have the same look, even though there are dies to cut it out, and I own those dies, but I wanted it to have that same look where it's cut out on the edge. So fussy cut again and did more hard things. And then look how cute he looks with his little party blower. I love it. It's so tiny, but you know what? Love is in the details. So yeah, he looks really cute. All right, so now we just need a sentiment to go with this. And there is a sentiment in the set that says Yappy Birthday. So I'm going to use that one, stamping it with embossing ink on red paper. And then I will pour on some white powder to complete this. And I love white stamping on colored paper. It's so good. So I'm heating that up to melt the powder, and there is a die to cut this out. It is a bubble cut die, so it's going to cut tight around the letters. I love that. So we'll tape that in place, and then we'll have our sentiment for our card. And there it is, all embossed and ready to go. All right, so next up, we are going to create a frame for our heart piece. So I'm using the die that cuts out the heart shape, and then I'm going to, at the same time, die cut out the dainty scalloped heart piece. And that's going to create a cute little frame to go around our heart. I just love it. So there you can see when you use the 2 dies together, you get this nice frame, just like that. So good. And save these 2 pieces. I mean, think about putting another piece inside there of a different color, or using this piece on another piece and having an inlaid part that's a different color. It's just a lot of fun possibilities with this die set. So we're going to glue this in place. I'm kind of trying to be generous with the glue since it will go down over this texture paste. I want it to really stick. So there we have that. And I decided to put some heavy blocks on that and let it sit while I emboss the background of this card. So I am pulling out a little confetti stamp, also from the same stamp set as the Slimline birthday dogs. And that is going to go just around the border of this card because the heart will take up most of the rest of it. So stamping that with clear embossing ink all around, and I decided I needed more of them, so I stamped some more in the open spaces. And then for embossing, I'm going to use my Lumberjack Plaid Distress Glaze. So this is a little bit darker than my red cardstock, and that's going to show up really nicely. So adding that around all the sides, and again, using a coffee filter to catch that excess that falls off, and then I can just pour it right back in. And then of course we're going to melt that so it is raised up and shiny on the background of my card, and it just really adds to that birthday feel. So loving that. And then I just dust off that excess powder that I put down to treat my paper so that there was no static on the paper and my embossing powder would only stick to my stamped images. So now I glued that down to my A7, sorry, sized card, added my heart with a bunch of foam squares, but I tried not to do too many. I have a problem with using a lot of foam squares. So I tried to hold back a tiny bit. And then I did do foam squares and liquid glue on the other pieces since it was going down over the textured hearts. Now, our textured paw prints, sorry, these are cinnamon red hot hearts, and they are going to be on the background of this card. They're also the jelly hearts like the ones I used on my previous card, and I just put those all around. I like to repeat elements when I'm making multiple cards. Like I used hearts on that one, so I'm going to fill this one in with some hearts too. So there is my birthday card. Now let's move on to this tag. Oh my word, look at this die set. The Paw Print Shaker tag. So it's got a solid paw shape and then this frame. And you can see I cut the frame from that piece of cardstock that I used my extra texture paste on. So I now have this textured paw print. And what's cool about this, when you cut the frame, you have two tags in a sense. You just need to cut two background pieces with this one, this solid die right here. And then you can have one that has the outline like that, and the other one you can glue these right down. But I didn't want to glue them on just yet because I want to show you another stamp from that Slimline dog set that fits perfectly on the back of this tag, and I think you're going to love it. So I'm going to stamp this out, and it says, "You're positively amazing." I just love it. So this could go for like any occasion, and it fits perfectly on this tag. It's amazing. So now we can go ahead and glue down our little paw pieces that are textured, and you have a tag just like that. Like you wouldn't have to do anything else. Quick, easy. You could use these for birthday party favors, or let's make a shaker. I cut out like 7 additional frames. I saved all the fallout pieces, and then I have more tags that I can make with those solid pieces. But I glued those 7 together, the 7 frames, and stacked them on top of each other so I had a reservoir for my shaker tag. I set that aside to dry after I glued it to the base, and then I die cut out a window sheet with that solid paw print and glued the frame down that will be on top. Next, it's time to fill up all the spaces of the shaker tag. So I have some more hearts. These are clay hearts, and I wanted only the red ones, so I put 3 hearts in each of the little toes of the paw, and then I believe I put 10 or 12 in the bottom or base part of the paw. But I wanted it to be a little bit more shakety shake than this, so I brought in one of my favorite things, and that is micro beads, and I put just a tiny bit in each spot just to help things move around a little bit and give it a little bit of fun sound. So now that that's ready to go, we can add glue to the back of our window sheet piece, and I did cut that little rounded top part off of my window sheet. That would be like the hanger for the tag because I'll use the one that's on the base. So we'll let that dry and then bring out my cozy Christmas cottage set because it has this sleeping dog, which also looks exactly like my dog sleeping. And I gave him a party hat, but he's tired. That was a busy party. So he's having a little rest. And I'll glue that to the bottom of my shaker tag. And then I'll bring out my Simply Sentimental Happy and Simply Sentimental Birthday so I can stamp the tiniest happy and the tiniest birthday. But as I was doing this, I realized in the birthday set, there's a happy. so you only need one set. And then in the Simply Sentimental Happy, there's a birthday. So you can do this with just one of these stamp sets, and it took me a minute to realize that. But I stamped them with brown ink, and then I'm going to just cut around them so they're really tightly cut and like a small little banner. And this is going to fit on the front of our shaker tag, so we'll glue those in place just like that, and they'll go right at the top, and you can still tell that it's a paw, but it has some fun things going on. So search your stash for some tiny dogs and use them on this paw print, or tiny bears, or tiny cats, right? You could use this paw print for lots of different things, not just dogs. So now I have some seam binding ribbon in brown I put through there, and then I brought in some baker's twine in red and white that I could tie around that in a little cute bow. So this could easily go on a little gift, maybe for a dog. Instead of making a full card, you just make a little shaker tag. Plus, don't you think these shaker tags would look amazing on a card? You could put this on the front of a card, but I'm going to have mine be a little tag for a birthday present, and I'm going to show you just a fake, this isn't a real present that I'm putting it on. But look how cute this tag is. It's adorable as a shaker. And here's the plain tag, also super cute with those fallout pieces. So 2 ways to use it. Here's my fake present, just a paper bag folded over with a little stuffing inside. But this could be like little dog treats in there, or maybe for somebody that loves dogs, you could get them a present for their dog. Yeah, just cute. And these go together so well. So here's all of the projects I made today. I know this was a long video, but I'm just loving this stencil and the coordinating dies. It's just fun to play with. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and this new release is going to hit the shelves on April 11th. So stay tuned for that. Plus, we're going to have sneak peeks all week with lots of new products that you're going to love if you loved these. So stay tuned, and I will see you all again on Saturday with another sneak peek. Plus, you can find more inspiration from Trinity Stamps on Instagram and Facebook too. So lots of sneak peeks for you to check out, and I will be there. So come find us, and happy stamping. Bye.